Lokati here. Today we are discussing our latest build. All builds are made live on stream, so you're welcome to come by Twitch and ask any questions and watch full videos. Links below. Alright folks, today we are looking at our Poison Scorpion Beastmaster build. This is a minion build. The majority of your damage is going to be coming from your Scorpion. Specifically, the majority of your damage is going to be coming from your Scorpion's Venom Nova. So we're going to do everything we can to proc more Venom Novas. Playstyle is pretty straightforward. You hit the skills necessary to proc your Venom Novas. Your Venom Novas do damage, everything dies, rinse, repeat. Now, in order to minimize the amount of button slamming that we need to do in this build that already has a lot of button pressing, we're going to go ahead and automate both Venom Nova and Summon Frenzy Totem. If you're not familiar with automating skills, we'll go over that real quick. First thing you do is go to settings, you go to gameplay, you go to change input keys, and you need to bind your abilities second bind to keypads 1, 2, 3, 4. So I now have Sarah's Blessing on keypad 1, Swipe on keypad 2, Frenzy Totem on keypad 3, Venom Nova on keypad 4. First thing you're going to do is hit numlock, and so that your numlock button is highlighted. The second thing you're going to do is hold down the skills you want to automate. We're going to choose Totem, Scorpion. As you hold those buttons down, they will continue to cast. Now you're going to press numlock one time, and you're going to let off those buttons. Once you've done that, automation has begun. Very, very straightforward. We're going to manually cast a Terra's Blessing, we're going to manually cast Swipe, and then we're going to let those skills automatically cast. Now, we just hit 422 Corruption, so let's hop into a 422 Corruption map and see what it looks like. As you're running around, you're going to use Serpent Strike and Swipe as your primary ways to do damage, to activate your Venom Nova, and to regenerate your mana, and to get some little bit of leech, and to do all of the different things that you're going to be doing with your melee attacks. Swipe has a 2-second cooldown, which is reduced by your cooldown recovery. I believe mine is down to about 1.3 second cooldown. And then your spear, you can just slam all you want. It is more important that you hit your swipes than your spears. So make sure you're hitting your swipes on cooldown, because your swipe triggers a free manaless Venom Nova that does a tremendous amount of damage and doesn't cost you anything. Your spear also triggers a free manaless Venom Nova. In fact, it does 2 of them, 1 from you and 1 from the pet. But the spear has a 12-second internal cooldown, but that doesn't affect how often you can press the spear. So the purpose of Serpent Strike is to generate as much aspect of the Viper procs and things like frailty that we can do on the targets, and then Swipe is your main damage source. Now, as you're running around, if there's a target that's going to live for longer than just a couple of seconds, you can go ahead and heal your Scorpion. Of course, I'm talking, and I let my Scorpion die because I'm paying attention. Now, you can use a Terra's Blessing also to res him off the ground, just like that. As long as you're hitting your swipes and not running off doing other things, then you'll be able to heal your Scorpion just through the usage of Swipe. Now, you will have to do a little bit of micromanagement of the Scorpion to keep him kind of coming along with you. A is what you use to order your Scorpion around so that he'll continue to follow you and attack the targets that you need him to attack. We're going to run down here. We're going to kill this Soul Spire here. As you can see, the damage on the build is phenomenal. Survivability is pretty solid because we aren't taking a lot of direct hits. We're killing things incredibly quickly, and then we're just moving past everything in general, so we're not absorbing a lot of damage. Whenever you need to heal, you've got potions on tap. We've got 400-ish life per second regen, and so very, very good overall recovery, as well as a tremendous amount of armor, parry, and dodge chance. A lot of things going for us here to keep us healthy and active. Now, we'll go over our items, our skills, our passives, and our items. First things first is our items. This is our current state. We have a Primalist Ancestral Crown of the Ox. The Ancestral Crown is the #1 item for you. You want the extra maximum health gain as endurance threshold and the endurance percentage. We are a life-based build, so endurance is very important to us. Now, the only important nodes on here are Aspect of the Viper Effect and Increased Health. The other 2 slots, you can just grab useful things. Unfortunately, Damage While Transformed is not useful. On our chest, Primalist Maruna Carapace Fortification. The most important thing here is the Aspect of the Viper Effect and some source of reduced bonus damage taken from critical strikes and percent health. Now the percent spell damage does affect the Venom Nova, so that was not an ideal roll in here, but it did do very well. For our weapon over here, we are using a parrying Dragon Slayer Glaive of Sorrow. The most important things on here are increased damage over time for minion, parry chance, and melee attack speed. Melee attack speed is going to allow us to hit faster, higher uptime on aspect of the Viper. Parry chance gives us an additional line of defense. The increased damage over time for minions buffs our Venom Nova's poison. And then ideally we'd probably want health on hit in that fourth node. I got shocked on hit because it chaos into that. Got lucky and have a T7 affix of increased area for melee skills. That's just icing on the cake. Makes our swipe hit larger areas, so that's not too bad. For our rings, I am running 2 ivory rings. The glaive, the fire glaive is important on this one because that 75 fire resistance completely negates the need for you to care about fire resistance. And resistances are tough to hit on this build, so you have to be cautious in how you gear your character. We're using 2 ivory rings so that we have access to the necrotic resistance, so we don't have to worry about tapping the necrotic resistance. Have strength increased minion damage and health on this ring with 1 additional resistance. Strength increased minion damage and endurance on this ring with 1 additional. You could get this endurance on a helm or a chest or on a relic. It just happens to be right here. On our amulet, we are using an Oracle's amulet, which is less damage over time taken. Very solid amulet. Increased minion damage, a source of frailty and physical resistance on the amulet. The increased healing effectiveness would probably be better solved with a different roll, but it's not a bad one. For our belt, we are running a spider silk belt for the poison and the cold res. We have increased minion damage. Ward gained on potion use with a 100% chance to cleanse all ailments. Please do not undervalue this. 100% chance to cleanse all ailments will keep you alive a lot more than any potion will. Most of the things that are going to kill you are going to be poison and ignites from the targets or getting armor shredded down to nothing. So make sure you do have a cleanse all ailments in your belt. Outside of that, we are running Void Res, fill another res slot, and increased cooldown recovery speed is a very, very important note. In fact, on boots, we also run increased cooldown recovery speed. This lowers the cooldown of our Summon Frenzy totem, which means more Poison Novas, and our Swipe, which means more Poison Novas. All the poison. On our boots, we are also running Hybrid Health, Movement, Speed, and Strength. This is a really solid pair of boots. The increased effective haste is also really good for us. We have haste all the time because we are dropping frenzy totems all of the. On our gloves, we are running armor mitigation, applies some damage over time. We have used a glyph of insight and a research to slam armor mitigation, applies some damage over time. And then ideally we would run strength, some res, and a hybrid health here. On our relic, we are running attunement, summon scorpion, endurance threshold, and health. This is a really solid relic that solves a lot of our problems. And we do need a little bit more attunement because attunement gives mana efficiency to Venom Nova and a Terra's Blessing. And you're going to run into a lot of mana problems if you do not have some attunement necessary to reduce the mana cost of those. On our idols, we are running health, 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 armor health, and then a little bit of resistance here. Very, very important that you utilize all of your totems for getting your health pool up. It is the only thing keeping you alive. For blessings, I am running health, increased health regen and health regen, increased armor, and shred poison resistance on hit. You could swap out this base armor for increased minion damage. Wanted to. Staying alive is better. Do a ton of damage. You're going to run into some survivability issues far before you run into damage issues. We are running 6.6k armor for 71% armor res. We do have dodge. Whenever we hit a target with dodge, we get this up to about 18% out of our Serpent Strike tree. We have some stun avoidance here, and most importantly, we have 763 endurance threshold and 60% endurance. This is what is keeping us from dying. Now, whenever we have our totem down, we are running about 300 to 400 health regeneration. So this is a big bonus to us as well over here. And as you can see, we have good strength and good attunement. Strength scales our armor and our pet damage, and it spells more mana efficient again. Now for our passive skills, we have attunement and strength and health and Cornered Beast, which makes us take less damage when under 20% health. This is a very, very strong node. Don't skip out on it. Our Druid tree, we have Endurance and Armor, and Attunement and Strength. Our Shaman tree, we have Attunement here. Then on our Beastmaster tree, we're going for Strength and damage reduction from enemies. We're going for Boar Heart and Boar Sign Constitution, so we have a higher uptime on aspect of the Boar. We are going with Artor's Loyalty for more companion damage. Follow the pack for more health for us and our companion. Natural Fortitude for more strength, more health regen for our companions, and increased health regeneration based on our strength. We are going for an Venom for poison chance and poison resistance on our Scorpion. Going for Hawk Wings just for a little bit more chance on haste while we're physically in combat. Going for Life in the Wilderness just to share our endurance over to our companion. We are going for Aspect of the Viper with Viper Fangs and Rattlesnake. And we are going for Natural Bond to buff our pet even further. Now, Aspect of the Viper is the central focus point of the build. The majority of your damage is coming from this ability. It is a buff that gives a 100% chance to poison on hit, 100% increased damage over time, and 40% poison penetration. And that is scaled by 155% from our helmet chest. So that is on our Aspect of the Viper, 250% chance for our Scorpion to poison on hit, 250% increased damage over time, and 100% poison penetration from Aspect of the Viper. In addition to that, it is 50% melee attack speed for you and your pet, and you have a 30% chance to proc it on hit, which is why we're going to be hitting things. We're going to keep that up 100% of the time. And so Aspect of the Viper is the central point of the build because it is 50% melee attack speed, 50% companion melee attack speed, 100% chance to poison, 100% increased damage over time, and 40% penetration for poison. Now that applies to us and our companion. We scale that to 155% with our crown and our chest piece here. That 150% means that is 250% chance to poison, 250% increased damage over time, and 100% poison penetration. This one skill with those two chest pieces probably is 6x your Scorpion damage. It's phenomenal. So this is what you're going to rush to when you're in the leveling process, and then you're going to keep an eye out for every aspect of the Viper aspect that you can possibly. For our active skill, we are running Atera's Blessing, Serpent Strike, Summon Scorpion, Summon Frenzy Totem, and Swipe. Again, Swipe's entire purpose is to use Primal Resonance, and this causes the nearest companion's ability to activate on hit and heal that companion. We also utilize the ability to gain mana back every time we swipe for a little mana generation. That's a rate of like 7 mana per second based on our cooldown, which is double the amount of mana regeneration that you have. We are taking Aspect of the Panther so that we can get the increased health regeneration here, which is what bumps us up to about 400% or 400 health per second while we are leveling. And then we have all the other nodes are just connecting nodes to get to the places that. On our Serpent Strike, we are going all the way over here to Venomous Union, which is a once every 12 seconds. We're going to proc 2 Venom Novas. That's 1 extra Venom Nova every second on the average. We are getting Sapping Coils for some increased mana regeneration. We are generating a stack of Constrictor every 0.5 seconds. We are using 2 mana per stack, so that is 4 mana per second. About a 50% increase in our mana regeneration, assuming we're hitting Serpent Strike. Now the rest of the nodes in this tree are all optional. You can do whatever you want. I opted for the Execute because an 18% kill threshold, crazy good. And now is Slither and Shroud of Winter. This gives me a total of around 18% dodge with almost no investment. So this is a really solid set of nodes. You can move those around as you need. On our Frenzy Totem, we are rushing up to Furious Cry, which refreshes our companion ability every time we drop our Frenzy Totem, which means more Venom Novas. We're getting about 1 Venom Nova every 3.9 seconds. On our Frenzy Totem, we have a 3.9 second cooldown, so we're getting 1 Venom Nova every 3.9 seconds just by continuously dropping totems. Now we also want to go ahead and take 5 out of 5 here for Global Poison chance, so our Scorpion will 4 poisons every time at Venom Novas. We're going to take this health regen down to haste as well, and then some mana efficiency again to help mitigate our mana costs. On Atera's Blessing, we're going to rush over here for 150% poison chest on our Scorpion, when he has been affected by a Terror's Blessing once every 4 seconds. We're going to come down here to heal our companion or resurrect him utilizing a Terror's Blessing, and we're able to refresh his companion ability every time we hit him with a Terror's Blessing. So essentially how you're going to play this skill is when there's a target that lives for longer than a couple of seconds, you're going to Terror Blessings your Scorpion, which will give him poison chance, which will refresh his ability cooldown and give him 100% increased damage for all of his abilities. So this is a very solid node for utility, damage, everything. It's wonderful. The only downside of this is targeting your Scorpion. Make sure that your mouse is closer to your Scorpion than it is to you, and it will usually hit your Scorpion. It doesn't have to be right on him, but if your Scorpion is here, you want to Terror's Blessing over here, not in between you. That way it's guaranteed to hit the Scorpion and not affect you. Now we're going to talk about Venom Nova here for a second. Venom Nova is the ability that you acquire whenever you have your Scorpion summoned. It is a poison spell that inflicts poison on the target at a rate of 3 stacks every time it casts. In addition to that, it releases a spiral of projectiles that have an on-hit effect that can also inflict stacks of poison. These spiral projectiles are based on poison chance. The Venom Nova is a 3 flat stacks. So this is how we're going to be utilizing this skill right here to do damage. That means that periodically your spirals will be killing stuff very, very far away, and your Poison Nova does the most damage, needs to be very, very close to the target. Poison Nova has a range, I would say, about 4 times the size of the Scorpion here. About this big around. So use your A button to move your Scorpion into position on the target that you want to kill. That way your Venom Novas are hitting that. Now our Scorpion nodes themselves, we're going to go Noxious Carapace for more poison damage, Miasma for a bigger Venom Nova area Venom Nova damage, Deeper Puddle to drop a pool, which drops 1 stack of poison every second. Go 4 out of 4 for poison chance and health gain on hit, and 5 out of 5 for bleed chance and damage over time. Now you could pull points out of here if your Scorpion is dying a lot and move it down into physical resistance so that he has a higher physical resistance, or elemental resistance so he has higher elemental resistance. You could also pull points out of Deeper Puddle as well if you wanted to. Deeper Puddle is probably attributed to about 12 stacks of poison on a target that never moves. And then this one is probably attributed to about 15 or 20 stacks of poison on a target that never moves. So these are your 2 ways that you can get some additional survivability for your Scorpion if Pokey here just doesn't want to stay alive. Alright y'all, thanks for watching the video. As always, come by Twitch if you have any questions, or check out this video that YouTube thinks you like, or check out our latest upload over there. Peace.